Maybe you can explain, Roger, how do you see that the product assurance scheme relates to the real nuts and bolts of the industry and how it operates?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different certification or organizations out there that provide certifications for things like ITATs. You've got NAID, you've got eStewards, you've got R2, and honestly, I think for those organizations to sort of establish themselves even further in credibility, this kind of certification should be a requirement. Because if an erasure tool, whether it be hardware, software, whatever, can't comply with this process, then it's really a security hole. You know, I mean, you've got a lot of data storage out there that just needs to be erased a certain way. Running overwrites on NVMEs and SSDs is completely the wrong way to erase that kind of product. And yet there's companies out there that are doing that right now, unbeknownst to them. You know, I mean, a technician just hits the start button. They don't know what's really going on behind the scenes. It does the erasure, it passes, everything's great. There can still be data left on that media. And so I think it's really important that all of those certifying bodies step up and, you know, say, hey, you need to prove that you've done this, because again, there's other certifications out there, like, you know, common criteria that they kind of dance around what really matters, which is, does the product do what it says it does, and does it do it as thoroughly as it needs to? Does it adhere to every possible option that you might run into as a consumer of this product? They don't do any of that. And so to me as an engineer, they don't have a tremendous amount of value because none of it proves that the software does what it says it does. And so I think that, again, you know, companies like R2 and eStewards and NAID need to be really looking at the data security portions of their certifications, and having companies ensure that it does this kind of a process. It goes through this kind of certification and, you know, can purge devices to any level that they should be able to.
Sure. I know the product assurance test comprises of 14 tests, safe and NIST compliance, and I know that it was an important component of that for us to test when you request a particular level, like a purge, on a device that doesn't support it. What did you see from that when you tested it, Godfrey? You know, by deliberately asking something of software which we, couldn't achieve it.
Yeah, so in as part of the, as you mentioned, as part of the testing, we had a drive, an ATA drive, which did not support any of the purge feature sets. So and the aim of it was just to kind of draw out if it was possible that the software we were testing would overlook it and do like a normal overwrite anyways. But in this case with EPS, it kind of said it can't do purge, but it can do clear, and it clearly says in the reporting that it does clear, and it cannot achieve purge, which was really neat and really insightful to see that some sort of software is capable of actually telling you that this feature set cannot be supported by the drive that you're trying to erase, and then it tells you which of option that you have you can do, which in the software says it's called a fallback, so it falls back to a clear if you cannot do purge, which I thought was very very cool.
And to your point on that, Godfrey, that's actually configurable as well. Mm-hmm. So if purge was the requirement, you can make the behavior, if the primary is not supported, fail, or if the primary is not supported, fall back.
Yeah. To
the next method that you pick. And all of it's configurable to make sure that an end user has total control over that process.
That's good. Yeah.
At least the user's got the option then of well, what other action should we take? That's good.
Right.
Okay, is there any other questions we want to?
I mean, I think that
Anything
was
you
kind of a
want to
good
draw
one.
out, Roger?
No, I think that was a good one because I think one of the gaping holes in all of those other, certifying bodies is that they don't require this, and that's a big deal to me. Like, it really bothers me actually, even if I didn't own a company that did this, just knowing that, you can do overwrites on NVMEs and auditors will just look the other way and think nothing of it. That's not acceptable,
Sure.
But,
That's great
all right,
stuff.
I think that was a good piece.
Yeah. Anything from your side that you want to bring out from the testing, Godfrey, that
No,
you haven't mentioned or would like to?
No. I thought we kind of touched on what was the testing like, which we both said it wasn't an easy task, and the most hardest bit was finding the drives itself and not knowing which drives to support what, because the manufacturers don't tell you. So you're just gonna have to hope that the drive that you're getting is is what you need, and if you don't, then you have to go find another drive. That was the hardest bit. I think we kind of touched on that, so I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, I think that went well.
That's great. Thank you very much for your time, Roger.
My pleasure.